born in Poland in a very small town. I was diagnosed with RP. It was very tough for me emotionally.
Introducing Marta Hanyzkiewicz, whose story spans 2 continents. From a rough beginning in Poland.
I didn't have much resources. My family couldn't accept my condition. I was in denial as well.
Excelling academically and traveling to the U.S.
After I did international baccalaureate, I took high school diploma in English. I got full scholarship to attend private university in Iowa.
Having to return to Poland.
I didn't have any skills, and then when I returned to Poland, due to my immigration status, I knew that I want to come back to the United States to obtain a training.
And dealing with familiar struggles.
In Poland, I was very isolated. I was trapped at home in my bedroom. I couldn't find a job. There were just so many obstacles.
But her persistence and hard work saw her return to the States to resume her blindness training.
I contacted free training centers in Minnesota, Colorado, and Louisiana. And Tom Allen accepted me to Louisiana Center for the Blind. And I started believing in myself.
Sharing her knowledge with others.
I'm really passionate to keep inspiring others to live the life they want, to be a productive citizen, to study, to be educated, to work, and I share my attitude with others.
Blind Abilities Teen Correspondent Simon Bonenfant shares his unique perspective, a story of friendship.
And that's what you certainly did with me. For the first time meeting you, I remember that you were such a role model to me.
And still, Marta carried on with her goal towards self-fulfillment and personal achievement.
I go to Borough of Manhattan Community College.
And now, sharing her advice with our Blind Abilities listeners.
Keep going no matter the challenges. Keep seeking advice from others. Seek great role models and mentors. Don't be fearful. Life is something more than your blindness.
For more podcasts with a blindness perspective, check us out on the web at www.blindabilities.com. Download our free apps on the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. That's 2 words, Blind Abilities. And now let's join Simon Bonenfant and his guest, Marta Hanyzkiewicz.
Hello, Blind Abilities. My name is Simon Bonenfant, reporting from New York City. And I'm at a restaurant here, and I got a chance to meet up with a very good friend of mine, Marta Hanyzkiewicz. How you doing, Marta?
Hi, Simon. I'm doing great. Happy to see you.
Oh, yeah. Very good to see you. Just a bit of backstory here. Me and Marta are very good friends. Like I said, her one of my best friends. We've known each other for a very long time, and many people know that I'm doing Blind Abilities, and I've been thinking about doing this interview for a very long time. So now is a very good chance to do it. So, Marta, you have eye condition called RP, which is retinitis pigmentosa.
Yeah, that's true. That's exactly right.
We're going to talk about your story today because your story is a very amazing journey from where you came from. You are from Poland, correct?
Yeah, exactly. I was born in Poland in a very small town. I was diagnosed with RP. Gradually, my eyesight was getting worse. It was very tough for me emotionally. In Poland, I didn't have much resources. It was really tough. My family couldn't accept my condition. I was in denial as well.
And what age did you first find your diagnosis out?
I was starting losing my eyesight at the age of 7.
From there, what was it like for you to get schooling and to get your education as your eyesight got worse and progressed?
Oh, for sure. I was discriminated against my blindness. I couldn't get resources from the school district. My mom is a teacher. She was tutoring me. It was very difficult for me to attend the public schools, that's for sure. I have to transfer schools so many times. It was very, very emotional, that's for sure, to get resources and help.
And your parents helped you through this process a lot, right?
Oh yeah, I was homeschooled. I went to private Catholic school. However, they denied me access to education due to my blindness. Finally, I attended school for the blind in Warsaw, but it was too late for me to learn Braille. They said that I'm too old to learn Braille. It was very difficult. Then I got accepted to the international school in Norway, where my life changed completely.
So what are the resources like generally in Poland and in Europe and the surrounding areas for the blind and visually impaired?
For sure, things changed since I left Poland. I left Poland when I was 18. When I was 18, my friends didn't use iPhones or any kind of assistive technology. In Norway, first time I encountered JAWS and Zoom text. In the US, when I attended the Louisiana Center for the Blind, my life changed completely. After I did international baccalaureate, I took high school diploma in English. I won the scholarship to United States. I got full scholarship to attend private university in Iowa.
So after your high school in Norway, you went to Iowa, and what was your experience like in Iowa? You were attending college in Iowa?
Yeah, I was attending my freshman year of college. It was a transition. I was losing my eyesight at the time. I didn't use my cane. I didn't know how to cope with my vision loss. That was very tough for me. I felt very depressed. I didn't have skills in the field of blindness, that's for sure.
So then you ended up leaving Iowa, and then what happened next? When you were back in Poland, what was your goal and what was your experience?
In Iowa, first time I heard about NFB, National Federation of the Blind. I attend a training center in Iowa in Des Moines. It was tough for me. I didn't have any skills. And then when I returned to Poland, due to my immigration status, I knew that I want to come back to United States to obtain a training. In Poland, I was very isolated. I didn't know how to cope with my vision loss. I didn't have access to resources. It was very tough. I was trapped at home in my bedroom. I didn't have nothing to do. I couldn't find a job. I couldn't attend the university. There were just so many obstacles.
And through it all, you've always been a very driven person. You know, you mentioned that you had a little bit of depression when you were in Poland, but ended up coming out of that and finding the Louisiana Center for the Blind from the National Federation of the Blind. Can you describe how you found that and what made you say this is what you need to do for yourself, and what made you take that step to do that?
For sure, I knew that NFB will change my life, and I contact National Federation of the Blind in Baltimore, and I contact free training centers in Minnesota, Colorado, and Louisiana, and it was a blessing that Pam Allen accepted me to Louisiana Center for the Blind.
And when you went to Louisiana, what was it like for you? You went to a 9-month training program, correct?
It was life-changing experience. Pam and Roland Allen, they changed my life forever. I will forever be thankful to them. I didn't have any skills. I was in denial. I couldn't accept my blindness. In Ruston, Louisiana, I got training, skills. I met mentors, role models. They helped me to accept my blindness.
And what kind of skills did you learn in Louisiana? What were the highlights of your training and the confidence? What was that like?
For sure, I gained confidence, skills in Braille and assistive technology, in JAWS. And I started believing in myself that I can live the life I want despite my blindness, and the life is something more than my vision loss.
So after you went to Louisiana, in 2016 you graduated from Louisiana, where did your journey take you next?
Oh, I was fearful of returning to Poland. I knew that I want to stay in touch with my NFB friends. I couldn't imagine my life without NFB. That's why I kept fighting to stay in the United States. I knew that it's something what means a lot to me.
That's where I kind of met you after Louisiana, when you went to Philadelphia. For those of you who do not know, that's where I live, in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. You ended up volunteering at a school for the blind, which is where I went to school, St. Lucy's School for the Blind. You were volunteering at the school, and for the first time meeting you, I remember that you were such a role model to me. At that time, God really put our paths together because you actually needed a place to live at the time, and my grandfather had actually just passed away, so we had that house open. We ended up letting you stay in that house that was very close to where I am living now currently as well. And since then, me and you really connected. And can you describe that experience from when you met me and what you kind of thought and that kind of experience?
Oh, for sure, Simon, your family touched my life, and I'm very thankful to your family that I could stay at your grandparents' house. I was very happy and thrilled to do a volunteer work at your school and share my NFB philosophy. Wanted to inspire others that they can live the life they want.
When you were living in the house, me and you started going out together. You started helping me with public transportation, and it was at that point that my whole philosophy about blindness changed, because I had been involved in NFB for a very, very long time. But it wasn't until you came along and you showed me the potential that I could go on the bus system and I could go to the malls, and I could go to church, and I could do these things in a public transportation. And actually, the first time we went out together was to an NFB meeting in the city, and we took the L from my house, the elevated train into the city, downtown Philadelphia. And when I first started doing that, my personal experience with blindness really changed in my independence. We did a lot of things together. We would go to the mall, we went out to dinner, and we had a lot of fun too. We used to get lost a little bit, we used to have a little fun, but we used to find our way. We had a good time.
Discovery.
Yeah. And one of the things that NFB teaches is structured discovery. Could you talk a little bit about the NFB philosophy and how that impacted you?
For sure, Simon. Yeah, I love NFB, and it's my family in Louisiana especially, but NFB touched my life, and I'm thankful to give back with a great gratitude and passion. I'm really passionate to keep inspiring others to live the life they want. Structured discovery is something what I'm driven to live my life, to be a productive citizen, to study, to be educated, to work, to have my own family, and I share my attitude with others.
And that's what you certainly did with me. One thing I want to get to the point of is back in 2016, at that time, I actually had a bad eye surgery that resulted in a lot of pain for me, where I had a lot of bad eye pressure that the doctors didn't really anticipate with the surgery that I got. At that time, I was going weekly for checkups on the surgery in Detroit, Michigan, and through that, I remember that you were very encouraging to me because you had eye pain as well yourself when you were losing your vision in Iowa, so you knew the feeling. Through that, Marta had told me about this church that she was going to called Freedom Church, a non-denominational Christian church in downtown Philadelphia. It actually happened that at the time of this recording, it is Friday, May 24th, 2019, and on Sunday, which is the day before Memorial Day, it is actually going to be my 3rd year anniversary of going to Freedom Church. And it actually turned out that I was able to not go to Detroit, Michigan that week. They let me stop for a while. Actually, before I got sick, I was supposed to go to a camp for that time. I ended up not going to that camp because I said I wanted to rest up, I wanted to relax, and I was finally able to go to Freedom Church. And it was just at that time that I started to feel better and regain my eyes without pain. Just so happened that 2 days after that, you ended up going actually to Florida for a brief time. God really put Freedom Church in our path. Can you describe a little bit about how you found Freedom Church when you came to Philadelphia?
Yeah, for sure, Simon. My faith always keeps me going through a very challenging time, and I'm very thankful to God that our paths crossed and I met you in Philadelphia. Yeah, I met my friend from Brazil who connected me to Freedom Church, and I felt like it would be great to also take you to Freedom Church.
Yep, and at the time, when I first went to Freedom Church, I said, this is my home, this is the place I need to be. There was also a Bible study group that I was connected with, very great friends of mine that I still keep in touch with, some of them today. There was a time, too, later that year that I also needed this group, and they were very good to me, and they still are very good to me, very good people, and I still go to Freedom Church to this day, and I still take the L, and I still practice my skills, my independent skills, my travel skills, my cane skills, all that. After we did that, you went to Florida for a brief time in the summer down in Pensacola, Florida, and then you actually moved back to Philadelphia, and we went to Freedom Church then for about 3 or 4 months, and I will always remember those times. They were very special to me. And then you moved to New York in December of 2016. Can you describe to the listeners what made you want to move to New York and what kind of opportunities did you expect to have here in New York?
I got accepted to a community college. My Polish friend sponsored me. I was able to obtain a student visa. Of course, it was very challenging. Like in Philadelphia, I had many connections, and your family and you, Simon, always make me feel like great connections. And in New York, at first, it was very rough without any friends, without any family member. But I was willing to make all the sacrifices to gain my education and new skills as well, even though it was challenging at first.
What's the college that you go to now in New York City?
I go to community college, Borough of Manhattan Community College.
And how has your college experience been for you? What has been challenging? What has your experience been so far?
Overall, it's been good. However, as an international student, I face many challenges. I'm not eligible for financial aid, haven't been able to receive reasonable accommodations as well. Like I had to drop my biology course due to lack of accommodations, haven't been able to get a note takers. Of course, without NFB training center, I wouldn't be able to earn my degree, that's for sure. All the skills have been very meaningful for me. I have been able to advocate for myself, keep going despite all the challenges.
And you're almost finished your associate's degree, almost coming up in business, correct?
Correct, yeah, that's correct, Simon.
Yep.
Yeah.
We'd like to also say that you have a GoFundMe page because you're facing some financial hardship. What is the title of your GoFundMe page if the listeners would like to contribute to that?
Marta's Dream Come True.
Marta's Dream Come True. That's your GoFundMe page title. And I would highly encourage the listeners to donate because, as you can see, Marta is a very positive role model who has gotten through a lot of things in her life. And she could use all the help she can get and be contributing to a very meaningful cause. So I want to put that out there too. Marta, we ask this question a lot on the Blind Abilities podcast. Through your experiences, what advice would you give to either transitioning students in high school to college or the workplace, or people who are newly blinded? What advice would you give them?
I think my advice is to just stay positive, keep going no matter the challenges. Keep seeking for advice from others, seek for great role models, mentors. Don't be afraid, don't be fearful. Life is something more than your blindness.
And keep the faith in God. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Yep. Well, Marta, it's an honor to interview you on the Blind Abilities podcast. I've been thinking about doing it for a long time, and I'm glad we got to finally do this. I really love the friendship that we created, and I really love you as a friend.
Oh, I love you too, Simon, and I'm thankful to you and your family. Such a blessing.
Yep.
You're such a blessing. Your friendship is truly a blessing.
Well, Marta, I wish you luck. I know God's going to get you through. I know you're going to achieve many, many great things, and I'm very happy to stand by you as a friend in all your pursuits. I'm sure me and our listeners wish you blessings. Have a very nice day.
Thank you, Simon. God bless.
This concludes Simon's interview with Marta Hanyzkiewicz. We'd like to thank Marta for taking time out of her busy day to chat with Simon for our Blind Abilities listeners. And for all of you who have been listening, thanks so much and have a great day. For more podcasts with the blindness perspective, check us out on the web at www.blindabilities.com. We're on Twitter. We're on Facebook. And be sure to check out our free app in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store.